This is my 2024 Ducati Diavel V4, and it is still very wrecked.
Now, admittedly, it's come a long way since we received it not too long ago. For a wrecked bike that would cost me less than $7,000, purchased, taxes, and shipped to my house, she's looking pretty good.
It has a new paint job, which I really like and I'm really excited about. And what that means for us is a couple of things. One, that means we can get this thing put back together more permanently. Right now, it's just kind of mocked up. There's no bolts in or anything. It's just all loosely put in there. And number two means that this gas tank gets to be put back fully. We're gonna put gas inside of it and we're gonna start it for the very first time. Now, this motorcycle only has about 800 miles on it, but since it was wrecked, it has not been started, to my knowledge. So this whole thing was a little bit of a gamble, but I'm here for it. I'm excited about it, and we're gonna be in it together. So we're gonna try, in this episode, to get this motorcycle started it back up for the first time since its wreck. Let's get to it.
All right, now that we have this gas tank painted and back with us, we can do a couple of things to it. We can actually do a number of things to it to get this ready for gas, hooked back up, and attempt to start this motorcycle. A couple of things are more just aesthetic things we need to do to it. So I would love to put a tank guard on here so we can protect this really nice new finish. And then we can move to the more like mechanical things. I don't even know what this is called, gas cap? Yeah, the gas cap needs to go on. We got a really cool thing for that. So this is the original OEM gas cap for it. I actually had to buy this secondhand, so it came with a second key. And that's gonna be really annoying to have a second key for this bike that already has a key for it. So what I did was, I purchased a Rizoma gas cap for it. And this should look really nice. This will work really, really well with this green. So we're gonna install this. And then underneath this gas tank here, so we gotta get everything put back together underneath this gas tank as well. So that means fuel pump, overflow piping here needs to get back installed. All of the little rubber gaskets need to be put back here, and then we can go ahead and get it all hooked back up to the motorcycle utilizing the parts that we put together in one of the previous videos.
So with all that said, we're gonna grab this tank, move it over to the table, and get started putting it back together so we can, again, finally get this thing on its way to getting started.
All right, so here we have the original gas cap here. I have a key for it, which came with this when I purchased it online, which is great. So opening up, this is where the 4 bolts to the gas tank would go. Because this gas tank was ordered online with nothing in it, I had to go ahead and order those bolts separately. It's a 5/16 M5/16. I needed 4 of those. Don't want to lose them. We need to take this apart, grab this back gasket here. That's what we're going to be reusing from this to place on the bottom of this Rizoma cap. And this cap doesn't need a key, which is fantastic. It comes with its own set of like keys here. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, so the bottom of this just has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips head screws. Fantastic, let's rip those out. There really wasn't any need to go with an aftermarket cap here, but as we are getting closer to the finish line, it does feel nice to put some more personal touches on the bike now and again. Okay, that's all 5, and this should just pull apart. There we go. So this piece we don't need, so this can be either resold or I can just give it away to somebody who needs it. So if you need a gas cap top for your Ducati, let me know. This is what we're going to be reusing. So this is the important piece, which is really kind of frustrating because buying these two together from Ducati was very expensive. Secondhand was even really expensive. This alone was like a couple $100, maybe like $150 just for the cap without this gasket. You cannot buy just this gasket from Ducati. You have to get this and this. So this is what we're going to be reusing and taking this and adding it to this. Okay, there's a couple of things that we need to have correctly oriented with this flange. One is a bracket that the actual cap will screw into here. So those have to align. And this sits underneath this OEM flange here. This OEM flange has to be oriented correctly inside the gas tank as well. And so everything has to align just right so that it sits inside the gas tank perfectly and we don't have any issues with that. And so when that goes in, it's just gonna go together here and sit in the tank and then line up just right. And all that's gonna line up, be able to screw in with the 4 Ducati OEM screws into the tank itself, and then the Rizoma screws to screw this into that lower bracket. Why are you not going to your spot? Brother, really don't want to strip them. All right, so we had 3. I wonder if it's just because it's, I know why it is. All right, so it is the next day, and we had a lot of trouble, unfortunately, getting that new gas cap installed. And I'll show you why. So what we're running into is the issue that this is a 2024 motorcycle. It is so new that manufacturers like Rizoma, although they say their parts are meant for this motorcycle, just haven't accounted for a number of the things that are going on with the newness of this gas tank. One of those things being these little sections inside where the gas cap sits that don't allow the bracket to sit flush against the bottom here, and that makes it so that the actual OEM gas cap flange doesn't sit flush against the bottom here. So in order to allow this to sit inside this gas tank without rubbing up against those bumps inside of it, was to get creative with this and go ahead and modify it just a little bit by grinding away at the metal of this, indenting it for each and every one of those bumps inside the gas tank. That way, when it lies in there, those indentations on the metal line up with the bumps inside this, allowing this to lie flat inside. You have to get creative sometimes. This is just the issue that we're running into with it being such a new motorcycle. I double checked, I triple checked the part number on this Rizoma. I went to the actual Ducati website, I went to the Rizoma website, double checked that this model gas cap works for this model motorcycle, and yet just because it's so new, this does not fit inside of this gas tank without some modification. It is what it is. All right, now that we have the gas cap installed, we can do another big ticket item for this gas tank, which is the fuel pump. So this is going in, we got the fuel pump itself, we got the gasket that goes with it, we got the screws, and it should be a fairly easy install. It's just gonna slip it in, make sure the gasket's good to go, put the screws in, torque them down, easy peasy. All right, so we don't scratch up the bottom. Although I do love problem solving and finding ways to fix issues, when a project goes smoothly, it is so sweet. It is such a nice change of pace. Torque wrench is going to be set to, let's see, 5 Newton meters. Great, great, great. Okay. All right, that went in really simply, which is very nice. Now we can get these in. These are unions that we can screw in so we can attach the overflow lines. This should be pretty simple as well. We're just gonna put these in, torque them down, and we'll be good to go. I bet y'all thought I wasn't gonna do it. I bet y'all thought I was gonna put these in with no sealant. Well, I am. I'm gonna put the sealant on, and then I'm gonna install them, just like the instructions tell me to. All right, we're back. Thread sealant, we got the unions. Let's go ahead and install. All right, with all the major pieces of this gas tank put together, all we have left are little bits and bobs, which are the little plastic end pieces to this, the attachment to the actual motorcycle itself. We have the rubber gaskets that make sure this doesn't rattle around. We have the quick connectors.
all of those pieces, which are not really super exciting to see. And so what we can do is just put those on pretty quickly and then get back to some more fun pieces of the motorcycle. So with that, we're all done and ready to get back on the bike. All right, next up we're going to put the engine covers on the motorcycle. We don't necessarily need to, but I'd like to get these on the bike before the gas tank, before the battery. That way we can see what we need to also install to get the front radiator put back on the bike. So these are next, left and right sides, we'll be good to go. All right, I know I literally just skipped over putting the tank back together for some more quote unquote fun things, and this is not that exciting, but you get what you get. All right, the next big ticket item is this radiator. There are a couple of things that I've missed out on ordering, like a washer and a bolt here or there, but it's nothing that's gonna be too detrimental to getting it on the motorcycle. So once we get this on and plumbed up, then we can be that much closer to starting this motorcycle safely. Let's get it on the bike, get some radiator fluid, and get this bike started up. All right, let's get this little gasket in there. Great. All right, the radiator is all plumbed up. On either side of the radiator, there are two plugs that you have to connect to allow the computer to tell the fans to turn on. This here was ripped out in the accident. This is what we fixed in a couple episodes ago. I don't want to go ahead and permanently install this, and so what I'm gonna do is just put this together loosely. That way the computer doesn't throw any faults, but we don't have to fiddle with it down the road. There we go, nice little click, good to go. We'll do the same thing over here. Good. All right, so we have the radiator all plumbed up and ready to go. We gotta get some radiator fluid inside of it, and then at that point, we can go ahead and install the gas tank, the battery, actually it's really more battery, and then gas tank, and then the gas, and we can try to start this motorcycle. Now, it's still a little bit of a rat's nest here, but without the front suspension, this is what we have to deal with. So we're gonna go without the suspension and just try to get it back installed to the point where we can get started and go from there. All right, today is the day, and now what we gotta do is just put everything back together enough to get this bike started. So that means you gotta get the TFT display, plug that back in. We have the radiator installed, we gotta get some coolant in it, get the gas tank hooked up, plumbed up, and then fill it with gas and try it out. So let's get to it. All right, what's gonna be the easiest way to do this? We got hoses here that need to go back on, wiring, and the quick connect for the fuel pump. First we can, at this point, I am nervous. All of these things that I am connecting to the tank, I have repaired or replaced on my own. Not only could these parts that I've repaired or replaced fail, the engine itself could fail. And all of this work, all of this time would have been for a non-running bike, and that would be a major bummer. Can I fit the battery in here? I think the answer is no. Shoot. All right. All right, now we get to see if we did everything right with the gas tank. Please don't leak, please. All right, I'm not gonna put a ton in. Oh shoot, hate these stinking gas tanks. Why can't gas tanks just be normal now, huh? Why do they have to be all safety and all that stuff? It's so, just. Just don't worry about me. I'm a grown adult. Ridiculous. All right. Okay. All right, last but not least, get the power hooked up. I got my key here. Set that there. And then we'll see if this works. All right. All right, first things first, let's see if we have power. Something's happening. Okay, we have power. We have a fuel reading. That's good. All right. Well. Oh, man. Let's give this a go. It's burning something. Or maybe it's just burning off old sitting fuel or whatnot, but it's running. The throttle doesn't work though. Nothing. It started. And it wasn't bad. Oh man, this is amazing. The throttle doesn't work for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but it runs. And it runs smooth, I think. Sounds good. It's burning something off, but it's been sitting for like 6 months, so to be expected, but whew, I'm excited. We have a running 2024 Ducati Diavel V4. When I bought this motorcycle fully wrecked, I had no idea if the engine would start. We had no way of starting this up until just now, and it started up no problem. There's a little bit of smoke coming out of the tailpipe right now. My guess is that's just burning off old fuel or burning off whatever was left in the system from 6 months ago. But we have a lot of work to do still. I don't know why the throttle isn't working. My guess is it's just wiring is not attached right now. There's a lot of wires that are just pulled out, but I'm super excited. This has been what I've been waiting for months now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking around through this whole entire journey. If you have so far, smash that like button, give me a follow, and we'll see you next time. Bye. When I hear that music playing, sing and dance, go, go, go. Ooh. Just can't wait, it's no good.